Yeah, I mean,
So we about to take off.
hey, please do remain calm. About to run against it and with a little bit of soul, no times.
Welcome to the Please Remain Calm podcast. I'm Ben Gonzalez.
And I am Daniel Gonzalez.
And we like to start off the show by thanking everybody who does listen and subscribe and share and follow us. Like we're coming up now on a year.
So kind of you.
Yeah, this is basically now a year of us doing this show, and we don't promote it really. We don't pay for any ads or anything. All we do is just post it on our page, and we told a few people, hey, we're going to start this thing, and that's it. And so, just the people who have been on the show have posted it.
Yeah.
And somehow, organically, there's all these people that follow us now that I don't know who the hell they are.
It's always stuck in my head, the scene in The Social Network where they actually meet Justin Timberlake and they're talking about monetizing it, and he's just like, it's got to be cool first. You know, it's got to be cool before you start charging people for it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, right?
So we kind of dove into it just to get our concept down and start building up the content and the library, and we didn't really push people to,
but
we didn't really market ourselves.
But really just learning how to do this thing that we're doing. And I feel like we've hit a stride now, and we've got a nice following. And so we're to a point now where it's kind of like we're like, we can still be here and plateau, or we can try to grow this thing and get a bigger audience. So in order to do that.
That being said, what we need now is to try to actually push more of that. This is our 42nd show.
Yeah.
You know what I
We've
mean?
been doing it for a little while now.
We got a little library, and I mean, not to knock other shows where it's it's people talking and talking about movies or the news or some shit. I don't know other shows that are like this where
there isn't one.
We sit and have people that did real shit and almost fucking died or saved somebody or just had extraordinary situations and stories, and they drop it and we wind up having fun with it. You know what I mean? It winds up being funny, touching. It gives you a real insight into what, people like us do for a living.
It's definitely a unique podcast, we feel, and we've gotten some feedback from some people that feel like it could grow. And so here we are. We're just asking you to help us make it grow. If you guys are listening now, it means you follow us already, you listen to the podcast already, and you support us, and we can't thank you enough. If you could actively go right now on your phone and like the episode, maybe leave a comment, and talking to some people, this whole thing is analytics driven. So the more that you guys can like each episode and comment and subscribe and tell your friends about it, it will really help us out to grow the podcast and be able to keep it going, because we produce it ourselves, and the more help that we can get to keep it going, we would love to keep it going for you guys. Yeah,
exactly. And when you go to find us on Apple or Spotify, please, give us a rating.
Yeah,
give us a review. Throw your boys 5 stars if you dig what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? We've got some pretty wild shit go down on this show already, and stories that you literally can't get anywhere else. Most of our guests, this is the only podcast they've ever been on, or the only interview they've ever done and told the story of the crazy ass shit that happened to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want more of that, the way to support it, the easy way to support it is hit us up. 5 stars, give us a review. It's basically on any platform that you find us on, there's some way to hit us, like and subscribe, all that stuff, share with your friends, and that's cool. The way for us to keep this going.
Appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to listen to that. Let's dive right into this.
Moving
episode.
on.
So today on the podcast, we have a special guest, good buddy of mine, Robert Medrano. Rob, say hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. So Rob, we're going to get into Rob's story. Okay, Rob was recently awarded the Medal of Merit, which is one of the Medal of Valor awards that are awarded to people annually for things that go above and beyond the call of duty, whether on duty or off duty. There are levels to that, and we'll talk about it. I want to kind of start off this episode by talking about situations like that, where you do something that's considered a hero, where you're considered to be a hero, Medal of Valor type things that happen off duty.
Yeah.
You got to understand something that if you're not in this profession, right, and you're just Joe Schmo out living your life, you don't take into account and notice, I don't think, even half of the shit that Rob or I or Ben or people that have been in the emergency services notice on a daily basis. I feel like I feel like I'm constantly looking for the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah.
In every situation. You know, like if I'm driving in the carpool lane, I'm constantly looking at oncoming traffic on the other side of the freeway. You know what I mean? Because I responded to a guy once that got hit by a piece of metal from an accident on that side of the freeway.
I was going to say a lot of it's constant flashbacks. Hey, that reminded me of this. Hey.
Yep.
Constantly.
Yeah, that's that spot where that rollover was. Yep.
So when you talk about, in general, dude, when you talk about stress, like stress levels of firefighters, police officers, stuff like that, right? It's not just an on-the-job thing. You know what I mean? It's like a constant 24/7. You have a heightened level of awareness 24/7, dude.
Right.
Even something stupid like coaching baseball or something like that. You know, a kid slides in a second, he stays on the ground. It's like I'm automatically like running up, looking at his wrists, his arms. Are those angulated or anything? Is there something I got to? And then I don't see anything, and everything kind of tones down.
Yeah, but it's not the way a regular person would react.
It's not. I don't think it is,
your
man.
fight or flight's constant fight.
Exactly,
Yeah,
dude.
Right.
It's you're constantly at that peak level of like alertness and trying to make sure that you're Johnny on the spot with stuff.
Yeah, because you're conditioned for that.
You're
That's how you
conditioned
stay alive.
You're conditioned for it, and people kind of expect that of you. You know what I mean? Like if you are at the river and somebody has an accident, everybody turns, oh shit, get Robert, you know? Or, you know, grandma passes out in the backyard or trips and falls. Oh, get Robert.
It is.
So there's this constant heightened level of awareness of your situation and stuff like that. Okay. That's 24/7 on the regular. All right. Now you put yourself into a situation where you know that there is an emergency going on. Okay. It's an emergent situation. When you're at the station and the bell goes off, whatever, man, you just sat down with dinner, boom, the bell goes off. First of all, when it's a structure fire, it feels different. The bell goes off and it's like engine only, you know, person down. You're like, oh, okay, another person down. Let me just get this. Hey, cover my food up for me, man. Appreciate that. Okay, cool. You get up, you mosey. Oh,
right.
Oh, Johnny's got to take a piss real quick. All right, cool. Let's go. When you hear her that female computer voice go, structure fire, boom, man. Yeah. Everybody's up and running to the rigs. All right, so you already have this heightened excitement level. You're getting dressed. Somebody's yelling out the address. You know, there might be a note that pops up, multiple calls, or so. People are yelling this stuff out. Hey, we got multiple calls. You know, maybe someone that's not on the call runs out and sees there's a loom up, or you hear it on the radio, loom up. So all these things are happening, right? Each tick is getting you a little bit more excited.
It's a whole thing to see. That whole first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of getting in, harder. Rolling, and then showing up, and just everybody just takes off.
It is the reason people become firefighters. I mean, really, it's the reason you get excited. That when people say, "Oh shit, firefighter," or "I want to be a firefighter," it's those moments that they're talking about or they want to experience. That 5 minutes at the beginning of a structure fire. Okay, that's when everybody's at their peak. Your adrenaline's pumping, your eyes are fully dilated, your heart's pumping at its maximum, you're not tired yet. Everybody is at their peak performance. Okay?
Right.
You get in, you effect, the initial search. All that stuff is adrenaline pumping. Eventually you get to a point, man, where you realize, fuck, I'm working my ass off. Shit, I'm a little bit tired. All right, shit, I got to sit on this line, I got to adjust this line a little more because my shoulder's fucking hurting because I've been crawling. It tones down dramatically. The fire is out or it's almost out.
Catches up with you.
You start thinking about how long am I going to be here?
How much air do I have? How much overhaul is this? How much crap is, rat packed into this house that we're going to have to drag out? Is it 2 stories we have to do over? You start thinking about all that stuff. And then that's when it becomes a job. This is fucking work. That's where the work comes in, right? That's where we earn our money as workers. Making sure that this thing ain't going to rekindle. Getting people's stuff that can be saved out into an overhaul pile and covered so it doesn't get ruined, especially in an underserved community. Right. You get a house in an underserved community, those people's things, belongings in that house are 10 times more important than the people in Brentwood or something like that that'll just go buy new shit, 100%. Right? It's in those moments where everyone's tired and everyone's toning down that the real thinking and the real like smart work has to come in. That's where the captains come in and go, hey, let's look over here. Hey, let's figure out if we can, or the arsonists come, or arson investigators come in or whatever, right? Between those two moments, man, there's a period of time where maybe somebody who was missed in the initial search, because the first guys that go in, there's somebody that follows along a wall and they do an initial search. Right. They're looking around for people that are on the ground, and it's a quick, down and dirty search, right? Somewhere along the line, there's a secondary search, all right? That's where you really go in and you look under every single bed, every nook and cranny. You look in the closets. You look behind the clothes in there. You look for places where kids and people might go and seek refuge and hide, you know, and try to stay safe. Another thing to take into consideration, and jump in if you have anything that you consider on your way. But when I'm on my way to a structure fire, I'm also looking at the address and I'm trying to think of like what kinds of buildings are right there. Is there a apartment number on the call itself? Oh shit, this is an apartment. All right, what time of day is it? Is it the middle of the night? Fuck, everyone's probably asleep. You know, we're gonna have a search and rescue issue. Or is it the middle of the day when everyone's at work? You know,
the traffic light. Which direction the other guy's coming from.
All these stuff. Things. Yeah. Where's the hydrant, right? You got your hydrant looking through.
Oh, yeah.
You know, hydrant man looking for hydrants. All this stuff is happening on the way to a call. Your level of emergency is heightened when you're going to a house in the middle of the night, right? You have to assume that there's people inside that house. Now, also, in an area, so this call happened, whose district was this running? 46's district, okay? All right. Very, very condensed population there, right? A lot of apartments, a lot of single-family homes that are converted.
A lot of fourplexes.
Mm-hmm. Fourplexes,
yeah.
Homes
One
with
houses,
back
five
houses.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Back houses, converted garages, all that stuff. Lots of bars, okay? Lots of bars on the windows. All things to consider when you're going to a structure fire, right? Not only for your safety, right? Because you got to consider, like, all right, man, if I'm going into this fucking house, are there bars on this house? When I'm going in the front door and I'm doing a size up of the house, of the building and shit, like I'm looking at all that stuff.
It's a lot of unpermitted work there too.
A lot of unpermitted work.
A lot of scabbed on construction.
Scabbed on, unpermitted.
Yeah, you don't know what you're standing on.
It's steel in the backyard, you know, lining shit up, and
wires,
you know what I mean?
Everywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There might be bars on, you know, every bedroom that has bars on it's supposed to have a release, you know, on the inside to release those bars. Those bars might have been put up without that release, right? Because it's not permitted. It's done by somebody who doesn't know what they're doing or doesn't follow any codes, stuff like that. You have to take all that shit into consideration, man. So, considering all that, okay, when somebody does something like what Rob did, and we'll get into his incident right now, captains or people on scene, we always do an incident review. A lot of times you'll get all the guys that were there at the incident. We'll stand in a circle after the fire and we'll go, hey, all right, man, great job. Fire's out. Nobody's hurt. Hey, let's go around the horn and tell me what you saw. Tell me what you did. From the chief to the paramedic that sat in medical group, they'll go through and talk to everybody. What'd you do at this fire, man? Yeah. Every single fire is a learning experience. Yeah.
It's like doing rounds at the hospital.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's you're learning not only from what you did and didn't do, but you're learning from what Robert did and didn't do.
Right.
You're learning from what Captain 2 did and didn't do. And that's where like being humble and humility comes into play too, because understanding that your mistakes that you made, everybody either has made that mistake or has the potential of making that mistake as well. So being able to admit your mistakes and say, hey, yeah, I came in, you know, it looked like the bulk of the fire was around the back, and so I took a line around the back, not realizing the guys were in the front. I might have had opposing hose line, so that's something I got to look out for. You know, something like that.
Oh, dude, learn from mistakes more than anything else.
Yeah, you learn from mistakes more than anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? But in that review, when that happens, a lot of times if something extraordinary happened, or in this case, I mean, Rob got sent to the hospital, but it's like, what happened? Let's talk about what happened. Well, blah, 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 and they interview, and then they have a team that comes out and interviews people and stuff like that. They do a green sheet, a breakdown of what happened, what if there was an incident where a firefighter was injured or whatever, they break down what happened, and they put it out to the entire department so that we can all learn from it, right? not necessarily a mistake, but something that happened. Every fire is a learning experience. All that being said, before we really get into the call, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Sorry.
Longest intro ever.
I know.
You're gonna get big lead in, bro.
Before we really get into it, I just want to read real quick because we're going to be talking about the Medal of Merit, right? Which is what Rob received the other day.
Medal of Merit.
There are different levels to these awards, right? Each one is, I mean, just as remarkable as the next one, okay? But just so you guys are aware of what we're talking about when we're using this verbiage, I'm just going to read this. This is straight off of the department's website, okay? The Medal of Valor, all right? Medal of Valor is awarded to sworn personnel who have demonstrated bravery at great risk to their own lives, beyond a doubt and clearly above the call of duty, whether on or off duty, okay? That's a Medal of Valor. Medal of Merit, which is what Rob received the other day. The Medal of Merit is awarded to sworn personnel who distinguish themselves by performing an act where the individual's actions, if not taken, would have resulted in serious injury or present imminent danger to life. The individual must have demonstrated a conspicuous act of bravery with calculated personal risk to his or her own life. Okay. Then there's, letter of special recommendation, corporate impact award. There's different levels of awards. Right. Those are the two top awards that you can get for bravery in the LAFD. Right. One of the greatest fire departments in the world. Okay. That's who we're talking to right now, just so you guys are aware. Just laying the groundwork. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want you guys to know the caliber of person that we're speaking to here, okay?
Hey, did you say it's a corporate impact award?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. This guy hands out a lot of stickers.
This is the current world we live in, bro.
Yeah, right. So this guy's made some hot T-shirts.
All that being said, I've known Rob for years, man.
15
15 plus years. Yeah. 15 plus years. We came up kind of in the same, in the LA City Fire Department, Battalion 13 is kind of like the go-to place where you're the busiest, you see the most structured fires, you see the most shootings and stuff like that. And Rob and I were in the same battalion at the same time. He was at 66s, which might be one top 3 most respected stations in the department. I was at 57s, probably like 7th or 8th. I don't know, but I was like the little brother.
We'd also go to those fires.
But I've known Rob for years, man. He's always been a stand-up guy. He's always been a guy that I looked up to as a firefighter. Left 66s, went to 26s, which is another well-respected station. My first house.
You were there.
Yeah, my first house, man. Getting hammered over there, but let's go to that night, dude. You're working, so you're currently an engineer at Fire Station 15, correct? Yes. Okay. How long have you been on the job?
Been on the job probably coming on 19 years now. Been driving for about 5. So I've been at 15s for 4 out of the 5.
How did you even consider or think about becoming a firefighter?
That's a good one, right? So coming out of high school, what do I want to do? I was thinking everything, man. I was looking at the service. I was looking at trade jobs. And then a buddy of mine, real good friend, one of the guys since first grade, still probably my best friend now. He's a Long Beach fireman, by the way, now. He goes, hey, dude, I think I want to be a fireman. Cool, man. Let's look into it.
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
Yeah.
So we started looking into it, and I just took a class at Rio Hondo. I said, I want to see if I like this, right? Took one class, and that was it, man. We jumped in all the way. Joined Explorers a little late because, I was 19 by the time I just joined for a year.
Yeah. Where, what
County.
Post? Oh, County. Okay.
County, yeah. And
County has a great little Explorer program, man. Did you go through their academy?
So I actually quit the academy because I had a family friend at 26s. So then I started kind of hanging out over there, and I quit the County Explorer post.
Who was a family friend?
Chief Valle. He was captain at the time.
No way.
Yeah,
man.
Good man.
I remember we used to be kind of scared of him.
Yeah.
He was our dad's deuce at 58.
Oh, yeah, dude, he's still banging heavyweights, man.
He's funny, man.
Yeah.
So him, and then you just met a lot of other guys out there, and then I was like, man, this is a place to be. So then I became a volunteer firefighter over in La Habra Heights at the Rio Hondo Fire Academy, EMT at AMR. I mean, just started doing everything.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to get on at about 22 with the city.
That standard ladder, man.
Yeah,
private academy.
Everything, dude.
I know, man. Like, you look familiar to me. Like I saw you around before coming up back then, man. That's funny.
Probably, yeah.
Probably, man.
No, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's funny how it is like a little community. When you're coming up, you see the same people or work in private ambulance. You know what I mean? You meet the same people coming up.
The circle's the same, dude. And you start meeting everybody. I remember you way back when. And
oh, yeah, man. For sure.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good experience, and like everybody else, testing everywhere. I was testing from National City all the way to Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, you take what you can get, man.
Yeah,
Yep, that was it.
And that's a good point to make for young guys coming up that are listening right now. Don't sell yourself short with testing.
no,
Test all over the place. I mean, at the very least, you get the
Get
experience
in
of
where you
actually
fit in.
physically taking the test, and if you get an interview, the more times you can sit in front of an interview board or something like that,
yeah,
it's good. But so finally tested with City, got hired.
yes, yep, got hired, and remember the SEP? What would they call the EAPs and SEPs?
Oh yeah.
So back then they had the emergency hire paramedics,
Oh, okay.
right? Because there was so short staff
Yep.
back then. You still had to live in the city. We still had the residency requirements. It was just a lot different back then. So
Yeah.
half our class was those guys. So they did some time as a medic, had some city experience now.
Okay.
Came in, joined our class,
Cross training guys.
cross trained
Yeah.
guys, and then they met us after EMT.
Yeah.
Did a little crash course, and
Nice.
after that, man, had Captain Kemper's my first 2 at 17. So,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Wow.
it's a good intro to the department.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. So, for those that don't know, Kemper, famous within the LAFD.
That's to do with the softball game, right?
Yeah, so he started the Kemper Classic, which is the
Yeah.
softball tournament every year. He was like a forcible entry guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, he knew how to cut into it, how to get into this door, that door. He taught it at the drill towers and stuff like that. So he was your first house captain?
Yeah, first house
To be
captain, too.
to have that guy be your first house captain too is pretty amazing, especially coming up learning as a firefighter. I mean, you couldn't learn from a better guy. Got cancer, passed away from cancer, 10 years ago or so. Rest in peace. But great guy. That's funny that he was your first deuce.
Oh yeah.
But that kind of it's funny how you get placed places, you know what I mean? And it kind of like it can dictate the direction of your career, really, man.
A lot.
Because I know guys that went places that were like Sleepy Hollow spots in my class that just like stayed there.
Yeah, no, I was fortunate, man. I went from 17s to 6s, which is, I guess it would be considered Silver Lake,
Silver Lake. Yeah.
just outside of Hollywood, and then 98's Pacoima.
Oh,
Then after
Oh,
that,
yeah,
they sent me
yeah,
to
fires,
46s.
man.
and
It's
I
all
was
making
like,
sense, bro.
Yeah.
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 So
That's the place to be.
you're a stud like 3 years in. Like, I'm badass. motherfucker.
Yeah,
I was,
you
I was
can-
humbled.
Yeah,
They were
man.
Really
Yeah.
good dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that's something else to consider too, for all you young guys and gals out there listening. Don't be afraid of the busy spots, man.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of the busy spots.
Get some action.
Yeah, it's like those mistakes we talked about, man. Experience is the other thing. That's where you learn.
Yeah, and we brought this up with my dad last week. Everything that has been of value to my life, I've been scared of doing at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything good has been on the other side of fear for me.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with this. I mean, it's the same thing with anything. We fear the unknown, but particularly with this career, you got to put yourself out there, man. You got to make yourself uncomfortable. You gotta go where you're going to be busy and get the experience. But mostly the most important thing from an experience like that is the guys and gals that are there working it every single day, the knowledge that they've accrued over their time at a place like 98's.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
the 3 stations that he mentioned, man, they're good spots and unique too. Like
Right.
17's has all of downtown and
But
all
the industrial,
high
all the
rise,
old-
industrial, chemicals, and then 6's has its own really condensed, population
All
over there,
apartments.
lower
Mhm.
class, all apartments,
Yeah.
hillsides
They go to
and
people's
shit.
fires. Yeah.
And then 98's is that, but in the valley, a different look at gangs, gang
Yeah.
activity, shooting, shit
Pacoima's
like that.
crazy,
yeah,
man.
Pacoima's
Yeah.
nuts.
A lot of fast driving, accidents,
Yep.
brush fires, everything.
Yeah.
So you
got-
can't be afraid of stations like that. It's those are some of the my time spent at 9's, my time spent at 57's. Those are some of the richest experiences that I had. Not only
super busy.
being busy and learning the job, but like seeing how people live. Getting an understanding of the human condition, shit like that helps you with how you treat patients and how you treat people in general in
Yeah.
your life and stuff. Yeah. So go ahead, man. So now you're a firefighter. You do your time down south and stuff like that. Made engineer. How long you been an engineer?
About 5 years.
5 years. Did you transfer or promote into 15s?
And I promoted to 59s.
Oh,
West
okay,
LA.
okay.
Yeah.
Stood there about a year, and then 15s opened up, and
Yeah, 15s is a
You wanted
good
to get
spot.
back
Pass
in.
up,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, with that new station.
Yeah, brand new station.
Yeah.
Our dad was at old 15s before he made engineer. So take us to that night, man. You
wake up,
Go ahead.
Wake up after midnight. I'm working sod, right? So I'm working another shift, and we just start heading out there. So we pull up, fire showing. 46 is the first company there. They went straight to the address. So for task forces, there's 2 engines that come together behind a truck. I was on the second engine, what's called the pump. So the first engine, he bypasses. So as we're coming in, I got a guy next to me, and he's like, hey, dude, where's the hydrants at? Same thing. I bring it up on the computer. I can kind of get a look. So I'm game planning, as he talked about earlier, what's going on. And there's a hydrant around the corner, and our engine passes it. So I was like, oh, shoot, they must have saw something. Well, the other engineer, real good guy, Corey, goes past it because he sees that 46 didn't grab the mid block. So he goes straight to that one. So I go, all right, no big deal. So I just kind of I just back up in reverse all the way up to him. So if I need to, I can lay out to the other one. I jump out. He's already on it. He's like, hey, dude, I got water. I'm giving 46's water. I go, all right, dude, let me get your second line. So I get him a second supply. So like I said, he's got it. He's on top of it.
And that's kind of how it goes when you're a late in engineer.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Standard
shit's already.
procedure,
shit's handled. And like this was really is a single family.
It's a single family, but I mean, it's blowing out the front out of every window, every door. And it's actually starting to impinge on the next 2 houses next to it. Classes, they're close together.
Yeah.
All the craftsmen out there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the aside from obviously like doing like an immediate rescue, trying to rescue people from the home. One of the first things you got to look at too is the exposures.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because you don't want to start attacking this fire while it's lapping onto the houses next door, and you're like patting yourself on the back because you got the bulk of this fire down, and the 2 houses next door are lighting off, right?
Yeah. So they hit it hard from the front right away. So the first 3 engines off the get-go, busy. That's it. First engine, fire tech. Second engine to the house to the left. Third engine, house to the right. Truck company to the roof.
Okay.
That's it.
Makes sense.
Pretty standard. So I run up. I go, hey, dude, I'm just going to do some exterior work, help these guys out a little bit. I know they're shorthanded. Maybe I'll go to the back, get some lighting. Talking about bars on the windows, just exterior stuff that sometimes you can do as an extra guy,
Take care of the
right?
other jobs, yeah.
Yeah. So I go back there, and there was like a dozen people in the backyard, minimum. It ended up being a boarding or halfway home.
Nobody had looked?
No,
In the back yet? You're the first one back?
Residents standing in the backyard.
All from that one house.
Oh, shit.
Just standing back there.
Just standing back
no
there.
No fire personnel back there or anything?
None.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Dude.
So I was like, all right, dude, this is different. 12 people hanging out in the backyard.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, man?
Yeah.
So a guy comes up. He goes, hey, we're missing 2 people. And at that time, I go, hey, I just heard on the radio they cleared a primary search, and there's still heavy fire in the front.
Yeah.
And he goes, no.
What'd the back look like? Smoke?
Large backyard.
Yeah.
The
back of the house.
Smoke. Yeah, just smoke throughout.
Okay.
And all the smoke's just pushing back. And so he's like pretty adamant. No, dude, we're missing 2 people. I go, all right. And the reason why they're all in the backyard is they couldn't get out the front because of the heavy fire.
Right, right.
And there was like makeshift bunk beds, converted attic to a second floor, like that
Boarding
kind of
care,
deal.
yeah,
It's a boarding care, right?
So it should be stated too that these are all over the city, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You
The
don't know
46
what
has a lot.
house.
They do, yeah.
Uh-huh.
You pull up though, and you think, no? Oh shit. You pull up though, and you think it's a single family dwelling,
Right.
where a regular family lives, and then you get
There
inside
are
and it's
18 invalid people.
oh yeah, dude,
Oh, yeah.
it's partitioned off into smaller rooms.
Yep.
Even the rooms themselves that are basic part of the framework of the house are partitioned into different areas where you have beds and stuff like that. So you could have 18, 20 people in this house.
So right away I go, all right, I'll take a look. And I ask him, hey, where do you think they'll be? So we talked about scabbed-on construction earlier, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a scabbed-on room behind the kitchen where a bedroom normally isn't.
Ah,
So in the backyard, I could see it kind of come out a little bit. So I open up the door, and it's just storage. But you could see where a drywall has come out quite a bit. I go, okay, they're here. So I go in through the back door, and I'm telling you, man, as soon as I got in, I was like, okay, this is kind of further than it looked from the outside. So smoke's banked down. I don't have a bottle on my back. I'm the engineer. Usually you're just outside doing water stuff, right? I don't have the breather on.
And they're still on fire attack in the front?
There's still fire attack in the front. They're trying to put it out still. So I just put the hood over my nose, stay as low as I can, get in as far as I can, and dude, my eyes are burning.
Yeah.
Can't breathe.
Yeah, dude.
It always
Boogers
seems
coming
like a
out.
good idea doing that, dude, until you're in there and you're like, fuck.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get to the point where I envision that room would be right in the back of the kitchen in the back corner.
Right.
And I see a door that's pretty much closed. So I kind of open it, and I was like, I got to get out, dude. I can't.
Yeah.
So I run out, go back in, take a deep breath, go back in, and now I can go book it exactly.
Now you know where you're going.
Now I know where I'm
yeah.
going, dude. So I'm low and I'm just flying as fast as I can over there. And now that I've opened up that door a little bit, some of the smoke that was trapped in that room has dissipated.
Got it.
And I could see heavy smoke still coming out of the room, but now I'm starting to see like a torso on the bottom. So I'm trying to push that door open, and
was a body blocking the door?
A bed or a dresser was something was blocking that door, but it wasn't the body.
Got it.
And so I'm trying to grab him, trying to push the door open, and then again, lungs are burning, bro. Can't breathe. Got to get out.
Dude.
Run out.
There's a house there.
How long are you in at a time?
That's a front end of the house.
Like a minute or two?
I couldn't tell you. It seemed longer than it always seems longer than what it is.
Of course, yeah.
It's probably half a minute.
The other thing to consider too, man, is it's just like diving. You're working.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're working. The more you work, the harder you work, the more oxygen you're using.
Expelling more.
You know, the more exhausted you're getting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I told the guys, I go, I can legit feel like the pathway of air from down my windpipe to my lungs just hot. So I was like, it's you know,
getting in there.
It's getting in there.
Yeah.
So the third time I come out and I'm about to get on the radio and just say, hey man, you know, I need
somebody.
I need somebody because now I know there's a body in there.
Sure. Yeah.
And
you hadn't said anything yet?
No,
Oh,
I hadn't
shit,
said anything
dude.
because I know, dude. But I was thinking like, okay, is there even somebody in here?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't even know where they're located at. Right, I'm still just trying to.
And you gotta and that's another thing, man. You don't ever want to get on the radio and be like, And
people are talking on the radio already
you
too.
Gotta, you gotta have radio discipline, and before you say anything, you gotta know what the fuck you're saying.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And on top of that, you know, I was telling the guys, I go, you know, I really felt that I can get in there. If there was somebody there, I can be the quickest guy to them.
Sure.
Whatever I got to do, right? You're game planning different things.
Seconds count too, man.
Seconds count.
Yeah.
Man. Like if you like you're talking about deep water or deep sea scuba diving, dude, you're holding your breath. Every second matters.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, man.
So I go in the back in this inside and I see Captain Mac, Dave Mack up top.
Great firefighter,
Yeah,
great
he's
captain,
awesome, man. And I just yell, I'm like, oh, hey, Dave. And there's also an engineer in the back, Ryan Curtis. He had come to the back now. And I go, hey, bro, I need your help. I found a body.
Yeah.
So he comes in. I yell at Dave from the top. So now he can effectively get on the radio while he comes down with his crew. We get back to that door. And so now his engine kind of takes over while I stay low and kind of to the side.
Still no bottle?
Still no bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who needs bottles?
Right? I'm already fucking.
I'm already jacked
I had a
up.
mustache.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
At this point, it's like whatever, dude.
Yeah.
So
You're beat fucking red.
Oh, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
You ever see that? I told Dave this. I go, you ever see that episode on The Ultimate Fighter where Rampage breaks that door?
Yeah.
Legit did that, bro.
Yeah. Hey.
Inward swinging,
Yeah.
and somehow because he's in bottle and he's a big guy.
Yeah.
He grabs the door from the top and folds it in half off the hinge.
Fucking Dave Mack,
Oh
dude.
shit.
And I'm just
dude.
laying there, going, oh, that's pretty badass, dude.
Dude, funny, real quick, funny
in a
dude.
burning house.
Yeah.
That's the house.
Yeah.
This is cracking doors.
We're talking about Kemper Classic earlier, dude. I remember playing third base and Dave Mack coming up for 6'6" and just thinking like, holy shit, this guy's about to hit this baseball down my, or this softball down my throat. He is a massive dude, man.
Yeah.
Massive dude. So it's funny you bringing up Rampage. I could totally picture him.
Oh
doing
yeah,
that.
dude. So
It's
he just
funny.
rips because they couldn't open it either inward because something's blocking it.
Yeah.
So he just ripped it off the hinges basically, then threw it out the way.
Yeah,
So
hey.
they grab the first body, they pull him out, and you could tell he's gone, right? Soot all over everything and lifeless. So they pull him out, and Engine 15, Captain Santian was on that one, and a
Another
couple
great
of
guy.
good
Yeah.
guys. They go in, they find a second person, they pull her out. I grab her head as she comes out the doorway, and then we just start backing out to the backyard.
Sure.
So I'm holding her. I kind of look down, and granted, we're still in some decent smoke, and you could see that she's what we call agonal respiration.
Sure,
So
yeah.
guppy breathing like a
Attempting.
fish.
Yeah.
She's trying. Body's still trying.
She's trying, but she's
Yeah.
unconscious. She's not doing well. Put her in the backyard on the lawn, and all of a sudden she just stops, pulseless, everything. I go, oh man! So I threw my helmet at one of the guys, and I just say, dude, we gotta start doing CPR. Start doing CPR. Get her to the back of the rescue. By that time, they actually got pulses back. So I was like, all right, man,
Yeah,
I
man.
got
Nice.
a chance here,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And then at that time, Chief came up to me, and there was a couple Captain Twos, Navarro, Ferrari, and then Chief, I think it was Peralta at the time. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, dude, you got to get checked out, man. You got to go to the hospital. No, I'm good. No, you're getting checked out.
Were you feeling it at that point?
Yeah,
A little bit.
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. So I, of course, at first you're like, no, I'm good,
Sure,
I'm good.
yeah.
And then you're like, all right,
Yeah.
let me be a little smart here, man.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah. So they put me on O2 for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Took me off, and then when they took me off, all of a sudden CO2 levels were like 4%, 5%, 6%, 7%, and they're like, dude,
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
you're going, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. You got to.
You got to go. So then
Yeah.
they sent me to Good Sam for the night.
Good. Sam.
Did they both wind up perishing?
Yeah. So the first guy never just
Yeah.
even came back. The second one, you know, I was of course concerned. You're
Yeah.
you're there
Sure.
for them, the people,
course,
right?
yeah.
This is. So I asked the hospital, the doctors that were treating me. I go, hey, is there any way you can call? I think she went to California just to see if she made it.
Yeah.
And now we're into it. I believe she was still alive, but 3 hours later, he checked, and they were, you know, they care too. They're,
Yeah, of course.
And they're going, hey, man, we checked again for you, and she didn't make it.
Yeah.
So it was a bummer. Yeah.
But the I think the key takeaway there is that our job, and that's something to remember, and I always try to keep in mind, man, is that we didn't put these people in these positions that they're in, you know, whether it be, you know, the guy having the heart attack in front of his family. Like, I didn't make you, you know, I didn't make you 300 pounds. I didn't make you be unhealthy your whole life.
yeah.
Like, I got to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because it happens a lot. You lose people in this profession. It's not all peaches and cream and smiles and celebratory shit. You know, you lose kids, you lose dads, moms, stuff like that. Yeah, you got to keep all that in consideration. I lost my train of thought. But you know, you share an experience with somebody, you know,
Yeah,
you get,
right.
that's where I was going with it.
Right.
You
There you
gave
go.
that person, that's really what our job is.
Right.
Giving people the best possible chance to survive. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose.
Right.
And you gotta take the good with the bad. But you do, you know, like when you go through that with somebody and you're performing CPR and you're going through it, you get this emotional attachment to this life that you're trying to save, man. And especially when you're hurt yourself and you wind up at the hospital and it becomes
yeah,
a
for
thing,
sure.
it's like you need some sort of closure. I think even hearing that, you know, somebody passed away or whatever, it's nice to put a button on that episode, you know, on this episode of the LAFD with Rob Medrano, and you know, put the end card on it and tuck it back away in your memory.
Right.
And that's it, you know, be done with it. That's how I've learned to deal with shit like that, you know.
Right.
And I think, you know, do you have anything that you do to deal with you know, shit that you see on the job? I mean, guys, you know, you guys have PTSD, you know, get treated for stuff like that all the time. Do you have anything special or any way that you deal with something like this?
No, you know, everybody finds your outlet, right? So for me, the easiest one on a day-to-day basis is I just need my little time alone at the gym, put some music on.
Yep.
Yeah. That's my alone time.
Yeah.
Then you come home,
Meditation.
take care of your family, you know, you do your family stuff and
Yeah, man. Yeah.
go fishing once in a while if you can. Whatever, you know, you do your thing, you find your hobby. But that's my own little outlet.
Yeah.
Just get my little time alone every day.
Yeah, it's
Good.
Can't be understated how important it is to
for
stay
sure.
fit and move your body,
Mm-hmm.
not only for physical fitness but for your mental health too, man.
All that stuff, man. You know, whether it's reading or brain or whatever you do, man, you gotta.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the actual like ceremony,
right,
for receiving the award. Typically, it's a
Yeah, we had episodes where we had guys that had Medal of Valor, and we went through the process of how it happened. So
Right.
he got nominated after the reports and after.
yeah. So
the
typically,
incident.
it's a captain or somebody on somebody that witnessed the whole ordeal will submit you for receiving the award.
right.
Right.
And it goes to a whole board, and then they review it, then they interview you, then they take it back to their board, and they decide something, then they send it to the chief, and then
Right.
basically, hey, yeah, you get an award, or you get an 1104,
Yeah,
or you get both.
It's a fine line,
yeah.
bro. It's a fine line.
Or you get nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
1104 is a
Whatever.
reprimand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically it's a beautiful event with a lot of, you know, family there, your crew, the guys that were all at the fire.
Right.
It's a big event. It's a luncheon, you know,
Right.
that happens. Obviously with COVID that changed. Just tell us about the ceremony a little bit. I saw it was at Dodger Stadium.
Dodger Stadium. So, you know, it was cool. Got to go Dodger Stadium, and they had of course, limited. They said, this is what you get. How many people for your family? We're gonna have this many people, and but it was the first private event at Dodger Stadium in like a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it was it was really cool just to do that.
Just to be back in
Just
there.
to
yeah.
just to be back in there, man.
Oh, and you got to see all the new shit first.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Well, I mean, it was initially it was supposed to be that because they had a
Ah.
plan for November. Then it was pushed back till January.
Ah.
Then they said, "Hey, we'll call you in April or May," because
Yeah.
they really the LAFD Foundation, it's kind of their deal that they headed, and they wanted
Ah.
they want to do what's best for whoever's involved.
Sure.
They really care.
Yeah.
So they go, we're trying to get it open so you can at least have family there. So as soon as we can get you to at least have family there, that's when we'll do it.
Yeah.
So you show up, they got a little room for you. They got some food, little gift bag. Just hang out with the other guys who are getting awards. The fire chief. Just run across other guys who are involved in the process, and then just hang out in the dugout until you're called up. And
Sweet, man.
Man,
Yeah.
that's cool.
They call your name over the loudspeakers
Oh,
like
yeah.
you were coming up to
Yeah.
bat.
Your name, you're up on the screen.
Now bout- now bouting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the LAFD.
I was happy when I was on the Jumbotron.
And then what do you actually get? Is it you get a letter commendation from
Well,
the
you get
mayor's
the
office?
certificate,
right?
and then the medal merit. You actually get a merit that goes medal on your dress uniform.
Nice. You wear that on your dress uniform
Yes.
basically anytime
now
you.
on.
Yeah, from now on.
Yeah.
Were you in the military? You were not in the
No.
military ever? Okay.
No.
I just wanted to touch on that because I know your son
Yeah,
is
he's
a Marine.
Yeah.
Is that something that he wanted to do his entire life?
No, his sophomore year, he just came up to me. He's like, "Dad, I want to be a Marine."
No shit.
I go, "Really?" And
What
he
was
goes,
the
"Yeah." Well, he was a
the
big
spark off
wrestler, and I brought him around the firehouse.
Yeah.
I'm sure they meet different personalities and whatnot, and he was adamant. And I go, "Okay, well, let's talk to other people, man. Let's talk to other people's other branches to see what kind of jobs, and as your job's a dad. Hey,
Sure.
whatever you want to do, I'm gonna support you,
Sure,
but I
yeah.
want you to help you succeed in it and give you other options as well, right?"
Yeah.
So he was so adamant. So after I go, okay, this is what we'll do. We're gonna wait a year, your junior year, if you still want to, then okay. But until then, we're gonna look at stuff. And we did. I let him talk to all kinds of people. And junior year, he's still like, "Nope, I want to be a Marine." Like, all right, dude. Then you're gonna be a Marine, and then just get a trade. So now he's a helicopter mechanic, and
Oh, nice.
he's doing
Yeah.
good. He's
Very
up to
nice.
3 years in now, and I think
Or
he's
his
getting-
buddies in with him or something? Or
No.
it was just him?
just him.
That's a trip.
They have
man.
this delayed entry program that he did from his junior to his senior year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like ROTC?
Kind of like that,
Yeah.
but it goes straight to his recruiter, and they take him out and they do little functions and stuff. And
Man.
now he's getting like his second MOS, they call it, as like a gunner or something. So he's all in. He loves it.
It's something we both have two sons,
Right.
each, and it's something that I always try to keep in the back of my mind is that they're not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have to create their own path,
Yeah.
and just like I've talked about in the past with me and Ben. There's no way we don't see the world the same way,
No.
or like me and you, man. We're firefighters. We got kids. We got families and stuff like that. We
Right.
came up the same way, but we have our disagreements. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
post stuff and
But we're
we'll have
straight up with each other,
straight up
dude.
with each other and respectful and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's never a personal attack.
But we
Right.
we all have our own thoughts and views on things, and it's all crafted from the direction our lives have taken.
Yeah. So me and my wife with all our kids, we're going to support them in what they all want to do, and they're all going to do something completely different, even though you're raised in the same house.
Exactly. man.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
So something comes up like the military, and I've talked about this with Bernie too. It wouldn't be my first choice to have either of my sons join the
Right.
military, but you got to look at the positives. Like your kid, he's got the trade already, and a
Right.
helicopter mechanic. Like
Yeah,
that's great.
it's
You could
great,
have a
yeah.
great career doing that. But not only that, you're going to see the world. You're learning about respect and discipline, and a chain of command and all that
Camaraderie,
stuff.
all that stuff.
Camaraderie,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Now, where you sit right now with your son being a Marine, is he deployed anywhere, or is he
Well, no, right now he's in Pendleton.
Pendleton? Okay.
And then they'll go and I think he's going back to Okinawa in November, and he's going to do some training for a month in Arizona next month. So I mean, just stuff like that. But
Do you have
Right.
any worry in you because of like the state of the world or anything like
No.
that? Like that anything's going to happen?
no,
Good,
I'm good.
man. What else, man?
We're good, man. I'm still tripping out on the picture from that fire.
Yeah.
And just walking back and seeing like a cookout in the backyard.
Yeah.
There's people in their chonies like, hey,
Yeah.
thanks for walking back here.
Yeah,
man.
That was a trip, bro.
Right? That's okay. Because I mean, all the things that you can walk into at a fire, and he thinks he's gonna go over and like check the electrical box or something, and then like oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just lends itself to you never know what you're gonna get at a structure fire, man.
Nope.
And you can say that for any call. Like you the call pops up on the screen and you see whatever it is. Cool, we're going to a seizure. Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
I read that word seizure, but you can't expect.
And then you get there,
Yeah, you get there and it's something totally different. And with structure fires, and that's another last thing that I want to touch on real quick is you don't just like and I brought this up before. You see guys, it'll be on like the in the newspaper. Oh, these guys make so much money, or they made this guy made $300,000 last year, and they'll print all of our salaries on there, right?
Yeah.
Forget the fact that in order for a guy to make $300,000, he's got to work his ass off and miss every
Be around
family
his
function
family,
and
right,
every
right.
holiday and all that stuff, right? You hear that like firefighters they sit around most of the day or whatever. We do a lot like that fire, for instance. I guarantee you that when that fire went down and the guys started hustling to the rig, they heard the address. They already knew it was residential, right? They've been running calls on that block, so they might even already know shit. In the middle of that block, there's like these 3 fourplexes that run down. Shit, it might be one of those things. They're already running through this shit in your head. Get on scene. It's just like we said, all the little things that you're noticing, on the way to the call. First of all, getting dressed properly so you don't get burned, while moving around in the back of a rig. Then pulling out a hydrant map and looking and
There's
thinking.
literally a million things that you have to know and checklist down, and any one of them that you don't do can bite you in the ass, like to where it fucks you up or could kill you.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes. That's where guys earn their money. It's not the
years off your life, man.
Yeah, it's not the time you spent doing something physically at the fire. It's all the little things that set you up properly so that when you get to that fire, you can run the fuck in and save somebody's life in seconds, because seconds matter. So just
run in 3 times.
Yeah, just keep that in mind when next time you see
And work the next day.
a story
You work
like
the next
that.
day, dude?
Oh yeah, dude.
Because this is the other thing that I was going to ask
had
too.
a trade, and they came pick me up on the ambulance about 6 a.m. And they said, "Hey, dude, you want to go home?" I'm like, "No, man, I'm already here."
See that, dude? That's a smoke eater right there, bro. That's a knuckle
Well, I
cracker
mean,
right there.
literally though. So what is the treatment then when you go in for smoke inhalation?
Just oxygen and fluids, and then they monitor you from there, and they see how severe it is. And they felt after 5 hours,
They didn't have to
O2
CPAP you or anything?
nothing like that.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. Well, shit, Rob. Like I said earlier, man, a ton of respect for you.
Thanks, bro.
Coming up
Likewise.
as a firefighter and as a person, as a dad, and I also, obviously, since with the social media and stuff like that, a lot of the stuff I post, I get a lot of pushback from us guys on the department. So I really appreciate our back and forth.
Oh, bro.
Because they're always fucking respectful. I always learn a
goes
little
back
bit.
to Dodgers and our kids, bro.
It does, man. It does.
Right?
And really, it would be a better place. The fire department as a whole would be a better place if guys could have that kind of discourse without getting in arguments and stuff like that and fights at the fire station.
Something you talk about a lot.
A lot, dude.
And now here's a shining example.
Shining example
of friendship despite differences.
Of multiple things. Of that, of being a good dad, of being a solid firefighter, a solid engineer, and a guy that takes the bulls by the horns and does what's right. So appreciate you coming in, man.
Bro, appreciate it.
USC fan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you're happy being there in the mix in the village?
great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Seeing
I love
the
it.
big tailgate and everything. You guys just get to post up out there pretty much?
You
on
know
game
what?
days?
Not like we used to.
Okay.
We used to be more so, a little more restrictive now. But,
Yeah.
you still cruise by, and
All right.
you guys, buds want to come watch a game. They know where to
Yeah.
park, hit up
Yeah.
our firehouse, and
Oh, yeah.
walk down to the Coliseum.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Cool,
Got
man.
Trader
Any,
Joe's across the street, right?
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's a happening place, man.
They're right in the mix, man.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
man.
they're right
It's
in
a
the mix.
freaking good
I
assignment.
have no complaints.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Yeah.
Do you have anything that you want to promote, or you want to give people your social media? They could check you out, or
Rob Medrano Foundation.
Yeah, right? No.
nothing? All right,
Nothing,
cool,
bro.
man.
Just happy
Cool.
to be here, man.
Hey, listen, folks. Just like we talked about earlier, if you enjoyed the episode, please go rate the episode, rate the podcast, like the episode, leave a comment if you can. All that interaction is great for helping us grow the podcast and get it out to more people.
Yeah, tell your friends about us. Share an episode. I mean, yeah, and we're also gonna ramp up the production here as well. We've been kind of like trying to perfect the formula, get the sauce right.
Oh yeah.
And we think that we have it now, and we're doing more things with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
a little
So
bit
it's
more
like,
clips, more visuals,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're gonna tweak this thing a little bit.
Well, it'll pay off for you recommending us. You
Hey,
know what I
before
mean?
we go, I just want to say that all of the opinions expressed here are our own. They do not reflect the opinions of the Los Angeles City Fire Department or the Los Angeles County Department of Health Services.
All right, Danny, where can they find you?
You can find me at DannyGonzo34 on Instagram and Twitter.
You can follow me at Ben9Humor, Ben number 9 Humor, like benign tumor, on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow the show at PRC Pod on Instagram and Twitter, or at PRC Podcast on TikTok. Danny posting hot TikTok videos multiple times a day now. It pays to follow.
I think
You know
I
what
got
I'm
it
saying?
down. I think I got this sucker down.
We also have these amazing, Rob, if you're down to hold up the shirt for the camera just
Oh,
for
yeah.
a second, sure.
Let me get this mic out here.
I said sure instead of sir.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
sir.
right? Sure.
There's a front.
Max Scherzer. So that's a PRC shirt. We are starting to run out of these. We're going to make a new run of shirts with
Yeah.
the new T-shirt company that has started up, Centigrade Clothing.
Yeah,
You can follow
Centigrade
them
Clothing.
as well.
Follow Centigrade Clothing on all
And
platforms.
watch the new line of PRC merch.
And we will have T-shirts, new designs of T-shirts coming out pre-sale June 7th. We'll start shipping out June 14th. So keep an eye on all of our social media for that.
Yep. And we are aware of the audacity of asking for more likes and reviews and still saying we're going to roll out a new line of merch. You know what I'm saying? We don't care.
Please like and review.
Thank you very much. Love you.
Yeah. Hey. All right. Hey. Yeah, I mean.
So we about to take off.
Hey. Please do remain calm. About to run against it and with a little bit of soul, no times.